Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, feel free to browse the other videos I have. Some are good, some are really funny, as in what the hell is this guy doing kind of funny. Even I look at some of those videos and I think to myself, this guy gotta stop making videos, these are ridiculous. Anyway, today I have a beautiful Laurier Hyperion. Before we get into this beautiful watch, I want to give you a quick wrist check. I have my Laurier, and this is a Laurier Neptune. I have this for about 8 months or so, around there. I have mine on a strap provided by Laurier. Well, not provided, I bought it. It's not free or anything. It's sold by Laurier. It's not a NATO strap, but I think it looks really good with this watch. Mine has the gilt dial and everything and hands, and this looks really good with it, I think. Before we get into this watch, I'm drinking some cognac today. Yes, I drink. I don't promote drinking, but I really like to have a drink here and there, especially when I make these videos. So I get into the, big talkative mood here. Let's look at this lovely piece. This is Laurier Hyperion. It's a GMT watch made by, obviously, Laurier, which is not familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, it's a micro brand from New York City, husband and wife team. They've been making watches for a couple of years, and they do really beautiful pieces. All their watches are vintage inspired, and they're done to amazing quality. So let's get a little bit into this watch. So this is not my watch. This was sent in by a gentleman named Brian, who I met on Instagram. Met a lot of nice people on Instagram. There's a really big watch enthusiast community on Instagram, besides other things, obviously. And he sent me this watch. I sent him one of mine. He sent me this, and I had it for about a week. And it's nice to see there's still people who actually trust other humans with their watches and let them enjoy it for a little bit. I take care of things that are not mine very, very much. I'm a very anal kind of person. So I did not scratch it, did not bang it anywhere. So it's nice to see people still trust other people. Thank you, Brian, for the opportunity, my man. So let's get into the watch. Obviously GMT. I'll go over dimensions quick. This is a 39 by 47 and a 10.7 height. It wears absolutely beautiful. My wrist is 6.6 3/4, so it fits really nice on my wrist. I don't like big watches myself, but others might, but to each his own. It has a bi-directional bezel, which is beautiful. Should be on any GMT watch. Not all of them have it. This does. It has, let me put it at 12 o'clock. So everything matches perfectly on this watch too. Laurier does really good quality. So obviously it has a GMT hand, and it has 24-hour bezel. The bezel itself is acrylic, and so is this lovely crystal. This is not a sapphire. And Laurier does all their watches in acrylic crystals, which scratch. Yes, I know. Everybody knows acrylic crystals scratch. Now, Brian, my friend, I used some poly grip on your watch that has some scratches, and because I'm so goddamn anal, I couldn't stand it. So I cleaned your dial. It looks like it came out of the box. So sorry for that. But yes, a little bit of poly grip. It took me probably 30 seconds to bring this back to brand new. So it's not a big deal that it doesn't have a sapphire crystal, okay? vintage watches, watches like, the Rolex Submariner or the Omega, divers, they all had acrylic crystal. So this company is keeping true to true vintage, the way they should be. Good for them. That's why they're so, appreciated. The movement. The movement is a Swiss-made movement. So what more do you want? Swiss movement in a beautiful, high-quality watch. The case looks pretty much exactly like mine. I'm not sure if it's the same case or just the design looks to me like it's the same, but the back of the watch there's nothing on it except their logo. So you can put your name or your son's name and pass it on. The bracelet is an amazing bracelet. Every Laurier has the same bracelet with this beautiful clasp, which some people complain about. I had no issues with clasps. And the reason I know they use the same bracelet is because this bracelet didn't come on this watch. This bracelet is my bracelet from my Neptune. I put on this watch and it fits absolutely perfect. I took it off, so I talked to Brian. I didn't want to scratch his. Of course, it scratches. I mean, it's stainless steel, but it will scratch. So I put mine on because I wore mine before, so it has some scratches on it. So everybody, says nothing but positive things about this bracelet. It's great quality, beautiful design. The finishing on this watch is 99% brushed. There's a very little line that crosses the watch that is polished. Besides that, it's a tool watch. If you're looking at, for a watch that looks like a tool watch, well, this is all nice and brushed. And the brushing is really nice and really good quality. Let's turn this on. Here we go. So, how do you keep time on this watch? So, there's obviously a 24-hour GMT bezel. So, for example, where I'm from, Transylvania, they're 7 hours ahead. So, you have to move the bezel 7 hours ahead. So, that would mean we would go 7 hours, which is about, I would say, 3:30 here. So 7 hours ahead, it would be 9 a.m., right? So the time it tells you 9 a.m. in Transylvania, Dracula's house. He's probably just going to sleep after a good night out with his vampirinas. So I'll take a drink to that. And to Brian for being a really nice guy and sending me this piece. Awesome watch you got, my friend. Enjoy it. I have. Now, positives and negatives. Positive, you will have a uniquely, not even a word, a unique watch. No other GMT looks like this. It doesn't remind you of a Rolex GMT. Perhaps more of a Tudor GMT kind of look to it, but it looks beautiful. I showed this to a friend of mine who he has a bunch of Rolexes. He's really knowledgeable. He's a big watch enthusiast, and he really liked this. It wears really, really beautiful, this watch. I'll put it on my wrist quick. Give you a wrist. I'll give you a wrist roll. There you go. Gorgeous. Now, on my wrist, it looks really nice. 6 3/4. If your wrist is 8, it's gonna look small. That's just the way it is. I myself don't like big watches, so for me, this looks absolutely beautiful. Look at the light on this bracelet. Gorgeous. The crown. The crown is a little bit smaller than mine, but mine's a dive watch, so it's gonna be Laurier's idea of a vintage diver. It has to have a big crown and no crown guards. They got it right. So let's close this up. So when you seal the crown, it actually still winds the watch. I like that. It's pretty cool, actually. Really nice quality watch. The colors. The colors on the bezel are not the, bright blue and bright red. It's a really dark, like navy blue, and a really gorgeous burgundy. I dig it. Others might not, but I really like this. It obviously has a date at 6 o'clock. Now, today's not the 4th, it's the 3rd, but I wanted to put the 4th because every other day is red. So it doesn't have the Sunday red, it just has every day, one is blue, one is red. It looks really nice. I want to put the red so I can show you this. Now some negatives. Number one negative about this watch. If you have really big fingers, it's going to be hard for you to grab this bezel. Doesn't matter where you grab it from. Because it's so small and so beautiful to me, I think. Reminds you of a Tudor from this angle. But it's a lot smaller. It's hard to grab if you have really big fingers. But that's just the way it is. This is their design. Another negative. I think this should have been a little bit bigger. It's hard to grab sometimes. That's my second negative. I have one more. Let me give you a loom shot. So, Laurier does on their watches the dial, the indices, the hands, the hour hands, the minute hands, and the second all in BGW9. Now this one has, you will see in a minute, on the hours, on the bezel, it has Super Luminova C3, which looks really nice. Yeah, it looks good. But it's not very strong. That's my third negative. It's not very strong, but it looks really good. Now, I'll give you a quick, on my Neptune, a quick look on my Neptune. Huge difference. Of course, the Neptune's a dive watch, so the indices are bigger and the loom is bigger, obviously. So compared to the Neptune, it looks a little bit weaker. But this is not a dive watch. This is a GMT. You're supposed to just keep track of 2 zones. Of course, you can go diving with it up to 100 meters. So that's a negative that some people complain about. I wouldn't mind because I don't go diving, so I don't care. So that's about it for this watch. It's an amazing piece. You can go to Laurier's website. Laurier does not have stores or anything, so you have to go to the website and look for the watches and buy them. Now, good luck, because if you go to Laurier's website today and you want to buy a lovely Hyperion, it'll tell you, sorry, not available. Get on a wait list. That's right, you have to get on a wait list like Rolex and others. Except on this one, you actually get an email that says, listen, buddy, you want to buy this watch? It's going to be available this date at this time. And you go to the website and you buy it. If it doesn't sell out in 5 minutes, which it usually does. So, this is it. A gorgeous piece. If you have the opportunity to try one of these or buy one, I would not think for a second not to buy this. It's a gorgeous piece. Now, Laurier doesn't make a lot of watches, so you're not going to see a lot of Laurier watches. It's unique. Absolutely unique. Just like this. I have not seen one person that has a Laurier Neptune. I have it for 8 months. That's just the way it is. These are watches for watch enthusiasts, people who appreciate quality and they don't want the same watch everybody else has. So, gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Highly recommend this watch. I'll take a sip for Laurier, for Lauren, and I forget the husband's name. Sorry, my friend. I talked to Lauren here and there on the email, so I remember her name. Lorenzo, there you go. You guys make some really good watches. Now I'm gonna take a sip. That's it for today. If you like this video, come back. Subscribe if you like. I don't care about subscribers. I'm not doing this for money or anything. So this is just a passion for me to enjoy watches and share with others. Gorgeous watch. Highly recommend this. Thank you. Have yourself a good day. And maybe I'll see you on the next video.